Hands. Huh. Right up. Haste. Right up. Right up. Right up. Freeze hands. Huh.
My fellow sheriffs, police chiefs, law enforcement officers from throughout the state and nation, along with many other dignitaries and elected officials, for coming together today to honor Deputy Robert Parris. Once again, we gather together to pay our respects and mourn the loss of yet another dedicated member of the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office. Just 3 months ago, we found ourselves saying goodbye to crime scene investigator Mary Donahue. Now we say goodbye again, this time to Deputy Robert Parris. Like Mary, Deputy Robert Parris was also a hero to many, compassionate in his service, thoughtful in his actions, dedicated to his profession. He too served his community and the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office with honor and distinction. Bob started his career in public safety as a paramedic. So did I. We worked together on more than one occasion and always joked about which one of us was the better paramedic. Bob graduated from the Ray Simon Regional Criminal Justice Training Center in 1993, started his career in law enforcement with the Sheriff's Office in 1996. As you might imagine, we joked about who was the better deputy sheriff. Bob was sworn in as a full-time deputy sheriff in 1999 by then Sheriff Les Weidman. He served in patrol operations, the Waterford Police Services, our Court Services Division, as a community deputy in Salida. Incidentally, Bob was assigned one day after the tragic shooting death of another dedicated peace officer, CHP officer Earl Scott, who was murdered during a traffic stop along Highway 99 just outside of Salida. At the time, I was the Northwest Area Commander, and Bob worked for me. He later worked in the Central Area Command before transferring to the Civil Division. As you might imagine, his personnel file is filled with multiple commendations from peers, supervisors, and citizens. Bob was our colleague, our friend, and a member of our family. He sacrificed his own life, paying the ultimate price, doing what he loved to do, serving the community as a deputy sheriff. Words cannot express our pain and anguish over what's happened, and we'll never be able to understand this senseless act of violence. On Thursday, April the 12th, we responded to a colleague's call for help. 11:99, shots fired, officer down. The last thing any one of us wants to hear was radio broadcast, and suddenly we found ourselves in a situation where we couldn't save Bob or Glendon. I have the greatest respect and admiration for a number of people involved in this tragic incident, but first and foremost is Deputy Mike Galinskas, who demonstrated tremendous courage under fire. While taking fire, he returned fire in an effort to stop the immediate threat and protect both Bob and Glendon. Mike was forced to find cover, radio for help, and was fully prepared to engage the threat. This kind of self-sacrifice truly defines the meaning of the term deputy sheriff. After joining a cover team, I watched as a rescue team courageously placed themselves at significant personal risk to go in and pull both Bob and Glendon to safety. The rescue team brought Bob back to a place of cover. Others, like Sheriff's Detective Greg Jones, valiantly started CPR in an effort to save Glendon Engert. As I knelt next to my friend and deputy sheriff on that fateful day, realizing there was nothing we could do to save him, I thought about his sacrifice as described in the book of John, chapter 15, verse 13. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. As I laid my hand on his chest and asked the paramedics to take my friend away, "Just take him someplace safe," I said. "That's all I need you to do." The response to Mike's call came from as far away as Sacramento. Multiple agencies, regardless of the color of their uniform, responded to our call for help, including the ATF, FBI, the Modesto Police Department, other sheriff's offices, and many, many more. Volunteers, the Red Cross, private citizens, local businesses, everyone, for that moment in time, put aside what they were doing to help us. We cannot begin to thank them enough for their efforts, and in the end, the coward who killed our friend in Glendon Engard, died at the scene. As a department, we've suffered immensely, losing well-qualified, well-trained personnel to drastic, unprecedented budget cuts, permanent deductions in salary and benefits, the loss of CSI Mary Donahue, and now the loss of Deputy Robert Paris. But despite these events, through challenges and tragedy, we must continue to fight on. We must never give up, never quit, never waver in our commitment to do what we do, protect and serve the community. The Law Enforcement Medal of Honor is reserved for peace officers who have been killed in the line of duty, or who have distinguished themselves by exceptional, meritorious conduct. It is only befitting that these medal recipients not be forgotten. We honor them for their compassion, their steadfast commitment in the line of fire, their sacrifices, and their exceptional service to the citizens of the state of California and the citizens of the United States of America. We thank the recipients and their families from the bottom of our hearts. These officers protected our Constitution, our civil liberties, and our families, often working under circumstances that kept them away from their own families for long periods of time. We not only honor those officers who have died in the line of duty or who have distinguished themselves by exceptional, meritorious conduct, we also recognize all law enforcement officers who continue at great risk and peril to protect the people they serve. Today, we honor Deputy Robert Paris by awarding him the Law Enforcement Medal of Honor.